Hello, my name is Muhammad HAFIZ AIMAN bin Abu from PPIS MP Mathematics SK June 2023 in Tech. Today, I will present to you a non-routine problem for MTES 1142 computational thinking. All right, the contents in this presentation, I will introduce you to non-routine problem, heuristics problem, and the traditional method. Second, I will bring you to know the problem statement, understanding the problem statement, and then finding the important information in the problem statement. By using the traditional method and heuristics method, I will solve the problem statement step by step. Okay, for introduction, there are two types, actually, there are two types of problems observed in literature, which is routine problem and non-routine problems. Non-routine problems are problems that replicate real-life situation and do not provide keywords to solve using non-procedures or standard methods, but using some unique strategies may provide some possible acceptable solutions. A non-routine problems process is not a straightforward process as it requires creative thinking to apply some strategies in understanding and finding the best way to solve them. So in this coursework, I will use two types of way of solution to solve a non-routine problem, which are traditional method and heuristics method. Okay. Okay, for the purpose of non-routine problem, why non-routine problem is introduced to our education system? Because non-routine problem needs someone to think deeply in order to solve the problem. All of the non-routine problems require higher order thinking skill, which is HOTS. It's not a straightforward problem that can be solved just by doing a short calculation. Other than that, non-routine problem also was introduced to our education system to make sure that 6C were applied. 6C are critical thinking, collaborative, citizenship, creative, character, and communication. All right. Okay, here we are. Problem statement. Okay, the problem is, in order to participate in recycling campaign, all three fourth grade classes were able to collect 9 bundles of newspaper. For Bestari, collect 3 bundles with 8.5 kilogram each. For Arif, collect bundles of newspaper greater than 4 Bestari and each of it is 5.30 kilograms. For Cerdik, collect bundles of newspaper less than 4 Bestari but greater than 1. Okay, the mass of all bundles of newspaper is 80.40 kilogram. The question is, find the mass of a bundle of newspapers that collected by 430. Okay, what we need to do first is understanding the problem. Why? Because in order to solve any solution, we need to understand the problem first. Okay, in order to participate in recycling campaign, all 3 fourth graded classes were able to collect 9 bundles of newspaper. So there are 3 classes and all of them collect 9 bundles of newspaper. And then for Bestari, collect 3 bundles at 0.5 kilogram each. For Arif, greater than 4 Bestari, which means greater than 3 bundles, and each of it is 5.3 kilograms. For cerdik, less than 4 besari. 4 besari is 3. So less than 3 is 2 and 1. But they are bar there greater than 1. So means that for cerdik is 2 bundles. Okay, the mass of all bundles of newspaper is 80.40 kilogram. Find the mass of a bundle of newspaper that collected by 4 cerdik. Okay, that's the question. So what we need to do next is list all of the important information. We spread them to C and find the best fact that the question gave us. Okay, next. Okay, let's solve the question. First, we use the traditional method. Okay, for cerdik greater than for bestari greater than for arif. Means for bestari is in the middle of for cerdik and for arif. Okay. The number of bundles of newspaper that were collected by for cerdik is less than for bestari, which means 3 bundles and greater than 1. So the number of bundles of newspapers that were collected by for cerdik is 2. And the number of bundles of newspapers that were collected by 4 Arif is 4, since the total number of bundles of newspapers that were collected by all the 3 classes are 9. Then we multiply the number of bundles with the mass of newspaper of each bundle. Total mass of all bundles were 80.40 kilogram. So we subtract the total number of mass of bundles from 4 Besari and 4 Arif to get the total mass of bundles for cerdik. Last but not least, the question wants us to find the mass of a bundle of newspapers that collected by 4 cerdik. From our previous calculation, 4 cerdik collected 2 bundles of newspapers. So we need to divide the total mass of bundles that we collected by 4 cerdik. So divided by 2 lah kan? By 2, isn't it? That is how to find the answer for this question by using the traditional method. And the last answer is 16.85 kilograms. Okay. What about we use the heuristics method? All right. This is Polias model. Before we use heuristics method, we need to know how to use heuristics in order to solve the question. Okay, first, we need to understanding the problem. How to understand the problem? We can draw diagram, list the elements, make a table or scheme, identify appropriate or inappropriate data, considering existing knowledge. And then the second step is make a step-by-step solution. We can use multiple variables, guess and test, look for patterns, simplify numbers. Okay, and then we conduct the solution. And then we need to ask ourselves, is it succeed? If it's not, we need to check it again or start from the first step. And then if we got the answer, it's the end. Okay. So now I introduce you a heavy truck diagram. This heavy truck diagram using the concept of inertia. Its storage tank will be divided into several separated tanks. Usually, the heaviest the heaviest part is in the front, near the head of the truck or near the driver of the truck. This will make sure the storage tank did not throw to the front if there is a sudden break. In mathematics or in heavy truck diagram solution, the most section with the most things will be in the front, followed by the lower and the lowest. Okay. Okay. Wait a second. Okay. This is how to fill all this shelf with numbers. How do we know that there were two parallelogram box in Heuristic section? From the question, it stated that the number of bundles of newspaper that collected by Heuristic is less than for Bestari, which is 3, and greater than 1. So the answer is 2. This means that 4 Arif have collected 4 bundles of newspaper. For Arif 4, for Bestari, for Arif 4, for Bestari 3, and the rest is for Charity. That is how to find the amount of parallelogram in every section. Okay, now for the mass, we just need to write it down in the parallelogram box. Then the total mass of each class is wrote down in the base of the storage tank of the truck. And then we need to focus on the maximum of mass of this truck, which already wrote down in the head on the head of the truck. Okay. And this is how we get the final answer. The maximum mass of the truck or the total mass of the newspaper was written on the head of the truck, right? Then we just need to subtract the total mass of the newspaper from 4 Bestari and 4 Arif to get the total mass of bundles of newspaper for 4 Cerdik. Lastly, we need to divide it with 2 since the question just want us to find the mass of a bundle of newspaper that were collected by 4 Cerdik. Alright, now let's move on to the relationship with computational thinking concept. Okay, for the abstraction, in problem solving, we should look for the important information and we will ignore the unnecessary information, just like what I do in order to understanding the problem. I highlighted the important word and ignore the others. Okay, next is decomposition. In order to solve a problem in an easier way, we should breaking down a complex problem into smaller or manageable parts. Okay, after we use abstraction, we can use decomposition by listing down all the important information step by step. Okay, next, we use simulation. Developing a model to imitate real world process using algorithm, animation, or parameter sweeping. In this coursework, we use truck to stimulate the question that use math calculation to find the answer, right? Okay, and then we got algorithm. Algorithm is developing the step-by-step solution to the problem or rules to follow to solve the problem. Okay, in order to solve the problem, we need to use the template first, the template of the heavy truck first, and then we put down the important information that already given, and then we use the important information to find the final answer. That is how we use algorithm in this coursework. Okay. In conclusion, heuristics method should be applied in the curriculum system in education because this method can lead pupils to another way of thinking and solving questions. Heuristics not only for mathematics subject, but for all subject. It is also for every level of study, from grade 1 until PhD. Heuristics is a critical thinking that same goes to the PPPM or Plan Pembangunan Pendidikan Malaysia 2013-2025 that want our generation to can succeed in their life problems or situation. This will make our education system be the best among the best around the world. But in order to achieve that, we need to make sure that all of our generations were introduced to this way of solving problem. Heuristics should help pupils, especially those who slow in solving problems, by using diagram or any suitable method in heuristics. They can slowly understand the step by step on how to solve a complex problem.